Welcome to the Adam Rothstein Hockey Podcast. This is your podcast for all things hockey. On this podcast, we talk about past history to the modern day and what you can do to grow the sport. I am your host, Adam Rothstein. All right, let's get to the show. Welcome in, everyone. This is episode 51. Today, we are talking about Evgeni Malkin. Now, if you're watching on YouTube or if you have the video up on Spotify, you will see that I have a Charlotte Checkers hat and I'm wearing my Washington Capitals shirt. So, yeah. So a little bit before I talk about Evgeni Malkin, I was at my first AHL game on Saturday night, and I've got to admit, it was a blast. The Checkers lost 4-3 to the Toronto Marlies, even though that was I don't know what they were doing. You can see the difference of play from the AHL to the NHL. So I thought I'd just mention that. And someone by the name of Ellis on the Marlies was the star of the game. I don't know who that guy is, but maybe we'll see him play up in Toronto for the other team. Maybe the Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs. I actually, that one was a little bit of a joke, but yeah. Okay, let's get into it. So Evgeni Malkin, what can you say about him? He is, I don't know if you would want to. He already has climbed the mountain in my mind, because when you get 1,000 points in the NHL, you're definitely considered to be in the Hall of Fame, and I think that should be the standard, is like 1,000 points, or you at least get to 500 goals and 500 assists. Now, Evgeni Malkin does not have 500 goals; he has 463. Now he'll get there. I'm certain he'll get to 500. It may take a couple seasons, maybe even. I think actually maybe he could get it done next year. Let's take a look at his goals. By the way, he has 19 goals this year. We have played 52 games this season. But the odd thing is during his career, he has not even played a full season for some time, and there were some years that he missed too. So there is that. Now, I think what's significant about his career is that very few players have done what he's done, being a two-time Art Ross winner, winning the Conn Smythe in 2009, which was very unexpected for him, because Sidney Crosby and Marc-Andre Fleury were a part of that team, and for him to, just ride past both of them to get to the Conn Smythe that year is still very impressive. He was a 2006, 2007 Calder winner, and with them, and winning the Art Ross winning the all rookie team in 2006, 2007, and just being and being a Hart Trophy winner 2011, 2012. Not only has he done this, he's good friends with Ovechkin. He's got a 52 plus minus, and actually I will share the screen now with you. Okay, share sound, and sharing. So there's this, and let's consider the and let's consider what he can do in his career right now. All right. So he is currently 36 years old. He could go for another few seasons. In fact, I do expect him to play to 40 at least. So he could get, so potentially, I think he could get another Stanley Cup. Evgeni Malkin, there are few players that have done what he's done and also played with the same team as well. Um, he has certainly helped Sidney Crosby, also being out on the ice many times on the same line for many years as well. But let's look up Crosby's numbers real quick as well. Just want to bring him in, uh, and just two-time Conn Smythe winner, three-time Cup, three-time Ross, two-time Richard, Mark Messier Leadership Award, and just all around good. I mean, there's no doubt Sidney Crosby is the better player. I mean, and when you're going up, and when you're trying to, when you have Sidney Crosby as your teammate, it's very hard to even come, come, to get past him, let alone just compete with him. I mean, there's no doubt he will. He has cemented his legacy, and if he wanted to retire today, he certainly would have my vote into the Hall of Fame. Being a Capitals fan and having to go up against Malkin and Crosby was very frustrating. I could respect Malkin and Crosby together because they were a dynamic duo, along with Jordan Stahl for a little bit as well, and Phil Kessel too. For a little bit, they certainly had their chemistry. I'm not going to lie about that. Uh, Now with Malkin, he there's very few. He's he's actually a little above a point per player game this season, which is still very impressive for age 36. He, I mean, and also, and actually, let's take a look. I mean, like divide 1,200 by 1,033 games played, and you get over a goal, over a point per game. And he is an excellent passer, and if it wasn't, and I think Sidney Crosby also brought the best out of him, but that's what Crosby does too. Makes all those players around him better. And Malkin sort of made him better too, as well, which which is just, all the chemistry as well. His playoff record, if it's on this page real quickly, let me move here. Play. Yeah, playoffs. I'm telling you, when he was okay, NHL playoffs. Um, bold indicates leader. So a little bit of bold right here, and I'm actually gonna if I could just do done here. Yeah. A lot of that here, and and how many times, in fact, like look at all this. Like, because of Malkin, I think that's why they were always in the playoffs growing up. So here they go. 2006, 2007 is his first time in the playoffs as a rookie at age 20. 2007, 2008, they get to the Stanley Cup final too. They get to this, but they don't beat Detroit. That's the thing. Okay, and SC was okay. So he's got it there, and he's got all that there. Power play goals. He had 7 power play goals in 2009. 7. That's insane. I don't even see anyone else doing that. But even when they won the Stanley Cup in 2017, he had 53 penalty minutes too. So that was very interesting of how that happened. But he still managed to get 28 points out of that entire span, and he got 36 as well. So I think still having him just you know play out of his mind every now and then, even at his age, is incredible, and it's nothing short of it because there's very few athletes that can do what he does. He's not the greatest hockey player of all time, and I think in this era of Ovechkin, Crosby, and Steven Stamkos, in that era that he sort of had before we had McDavid and Matthews come into the league, you know, he definitely could have been, had they not been there. I mean, yeah, he would have been considered one of the greats too. But then again, competition is fierce, man. It's fierce. You've got this here. Okay, yeah, and he was up, and I guess also let's consider the plus minuses. Every time where he wasn't a, almost every time where he wasn't okay. Usually he has okay, yeah. Now he's sort of deteriorating in that category, but I think, but still overall he had a plus six from every time he was in there. Yeah, definitely some different metrics. If you want to pause the video here, definitely to look over some stuff, please do. Yeah, he had a few hat tricks too. Four away hat tricks as well. So Malkin still was able to get some hat tricks as well. Take a look here and take a look here. This is actually, I didn't even know Hockey Reference had this as well. Adjusted point shares best to worst. Malkin and then Joe Sakic and Stamkos. Timu Solani is on here as well. Marcel Dion, Howe, Cole, Kane, Thornton may actually, yeah. Hole's gone. RIP to him. Malkin, Kane. Patrick Kane is actually very similar to him as well. I think, yeah, so there's that. Okay, so penalty shots. I actually didn't see that. Penalty shots. All right, scored. Okay, so yeah, this is where he scored too. So not a lot of penalty shots too. He only had 6 in his career, which is still small, but then again, it's rarely called. Where are we now? Where are we now? I'm gonna stop the share. And if I could get a time on here. Okay. I do think as well with Malkin, he's still gonna have, I think he's still gonna finish strong this year as well. Um Now a little mention on back to the Capitals. He and Ovechkin were good friends, so I think he honored the rivalry of the Capitals and the Penguins, and it is arguably the biggest new aged rivalry in sports, and it's not the Islanders and the Rangers. The it's not like the Bruins and the Canadians or the Canadians and the Leafs. It, it in this new age of rivalries, it, it worked, and he certainly was the antagonist to Backstrom and Ovechkin, and as well, and and Crosby and Malkin, going up against Backstrom and Ovechkin. There was nothing like it growing up if you lived in that northeast corridor or if you were growing up in the DMV. There was nothing like it. And I think and and he certainly made it. He was very fun to watch, and he was a great. And as a video game, uh, and as far as video games go, he was a great character to play as well. During times with those EA Sports games, and yeah, he. I don't know what else I can say about him. I do want him to finish his career out in Pittsburgh, and this is coming from a Capitals fan, mind you. This is coming from a Capitals fan because it just makes sense. There are some players that need to stay the course. They need to be a part of that team that they were on for so long. They were never traded early in their career, so they need to stay where they belong. They need to. They he Malkin belongs in Pittsburgh. I don't see him putting on a Jets jersey or a Flames jersey or a Sharks jersey or anything like that. It's not in him, and and I do think he's got one more Stanley Cup in his career, and yeah. All right. Thank you everyone for listening to this shorter segment um as well. Coming up this week, I'll have an article out on TV's role in hockey. That'll go out for all the free members. And the bonus audio episode is for paid members. I will have that on AHL hockey. So please be sure to subscribe for $5 a month. You get access to that episode and all past content as well. So you can definitely go back and listen to other episodes and go read other articles as well, all for $5 a month. It's just that simple. So head over to Substack at rothsteina.substack.com. Once again, the domain is rothsteina.substack.com. All right. All right. I'll talk to you all later. And definitely be sure to subscribe, share this podcast with your friends on Spotify and Apple uh, podcasts, and I'll write a little review. And with that being said, take care.